When will we be removed from this place, war-torn and tragedy-ridden? Since the fall, man has sought power to rule, to force his prideful agenda on the masses, to inflict terror on one another, to browbeat those who are deemed inferior in social or political status. Coupled with the seemingly insurmountable personal tragedies that everyone faces in their lifetime, it's a wonder humanity has survived as long as it has. The famed American poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow knew all too well the lasting pain of tragedy. The world in which he lived, the 19th century, was fueled by racism, division, and war, much like ours. His first real taste of sorrow came when his wife of 4 years died after miscarrying their first child in 1835. Deeply grieved by the loss, Longfellow wrote, "One thought occupies me night and day. She is dead. She is dead. All day I am weary and sad." Eventually, after a 7-year courtship, he remarried a woman named Frances, with whom he had 6 children, one of them dying before her first year. One hot summer day, as Longfellow was napping, Frances was sealing a letter with wax in their study when she accidentally set her clothes on fire. Engulfed in flames, her screams woke her husband from his slumber, and he rushed to his bride. When his initial attempts to put out the blaze failed, he threw himself on her to finally extinguish the flames, badly burning himself in the act. The following morning, she died from her injuries. His burns were so severe that he could not attend his beloved's funeral. "How I am alive after what my eyes have seen, I know not. I am at least patient, if not resigned, and thank God hourly, as I have from the beginning, for the beautiful life we led together, and that I loved her more and more to the end." In the wake of her death, Longfellow dealt with the repercussions of the Civil War. For decades, he had been passionate about the abolishment of slavery and the unity of his country. Now, mourning the loss of his wife, he watched as his country fought, brother against brother, father against son, North against South, abolition against ownership. Further sorrow would be added when in 1863, Longfellow's son left for war without his permission. The hope of peace left Longfellow's eyes. In his poem, Christmas Bells, Longfellow expressed the depths of his sorrow over the state of his nation, his family, and his life's sorrow. "And in despair, I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men."
In
is peace, often lost in the hostile quarrels between left and right, privileged and marginalized, idealistic and discontent. Peace, as we hope for it, often eludes us. For Longfellow, on Christmas Day, 1864, the carols of peace on earth, goodwill to men, was sunk by the deafening blast of cannons and cracks of whips. Then, from each black accursed mouth, the cannon thundered in the south, and with the sound, the carols drowned of peace on earth, goodwill to men. To the Jews, over 2,000 years ago, peace was drowned out by the screams of parents as their baby sons were murdered by a jealous king. However, it's at that same time that the peace we seek and so desperately need arrived in the baby Jesus. Sent to establish peace between the Father and us, he did not bring us a promise of life without trouble, a life without conflict. As evidenced by Longfellow's life, humanity is not without trials and sufferings, but human suffering is not without hope. For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of the cross. Despite his world being filled with national division and personal misery, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow rediscovered hope. He did not let peace be muffled by cannons or hate. He clung to the hope of the day when all would be made right. We cannot afford to take our eyes off of this hope and peace. Though the darkness of night creeps in, attempting to shroud the message of peace on earth, we remember that God himself joined us in the darkness, and we sing Longfellow's last stanza of Christmas Bells, which proclaims, "Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men."
To There